Hey Newburgh, it's Pastor Steve here with our Monday Minute for April the 27th, 2020, as we continue to try to come to you into your homes during this time of stay at home, stay safe in our COVID pandemic. As you probably have noticed, I have had my first pandemic haircut by our amateur barber here in residence. And hopefully it's not too bad. It's better than it was, but please hold your comments here. Everybody, we're all doing the best that we can, but at least we're trying to get some semblance of normalcy here as we move forward. All that being said, we want to come to you this week about the other things that are happening here in the life of our church. Starting with our weekly offerings. This Wednesday, we will have a Wednesday devotion rather than our Get Fed Online, and the same thing will be true for the next week. Then we will start back with Get Fed Online under a new format with Reverend Gassaway doing a live class, as well as the online format that we have been doing, and that will carry us through for another 6 weeks. You can look for more information in an email about that. Our Friday podcast is going to be taking on a different look as well. Our Around the Table series has ended, and we are moving on to a new series of interviews. We'll be taking this week off, but look for those in the following week as we continue to bring you our online ministry offerings that we have available for everyone. We'll still be doing our Saturdays with Miss Karen for the kids. Those have been a great hit, and we look forward to bringing you those as well. This coming Sunday is going to be the start of a new series, and it's entitled, It Is Enough. This comes from a phrase that Jesus uttered as he was preparing to go into Jerusalem, talking about what it means to have enough to be able to execute what he wanted to do during that time that we celebrate during Holy Week, but also throughout his ministry as he expressed to his disciples how they were to get by with what they had and letting that be enough. In this time of pandemic, we have people who are feeling isolated, like a lot of us are. Our lives have been changed and turned upside down in ways that we never imagined or thought possible. And some of us are bored and we don't know what to do. Others are feeling lonely and out of touch and are trying to do whatever they can to stay connected. And still others are feeling overwhelmed. I know our church staff has at times felt overwhelmed with trying to be able to provide all the content and ministry opportunities that are available, while you all, many, are trying to learn how to work in a situation where you have to learn how to use some of this technology in order to stay safe. Our kids are having to be homeschooled, and parents are have to learn how to work around that, as well as working from home. And it seems like even though we are in place, we have other things that are so occupying our mind, it feels like we are busy, and we've been disconnected from our normal routines. So this sermon series will address about what it is that we have and the gifts and the abilities that we are doing, and that in and of itself will be enough. We'll be looking over those next couple of weeks to show how Jesus gives us everything that we need, and how he was an example for his disciples about what they had was enough to be in ministry with those who are in need and into the larger community in the world. So we look forward to bringing you that new sermon series that starts this coming Sunday. Now, with Governor Whitmer's new executive order that extends our stay-at-home and stay-place through May 15th, that means we'll be worshiping online only for the next couple of Sundays. However, that does not mean that we are going to immediately start back to worship the following Sunday. In fact, we don't know what that means just yet. We're awaiting guidance from the bishop's office and working in consultation with his office as well as with our state and local authorities. We'll be doing our best to follow whatever guidelines are necessary in order to keep people safe as we look to getting back to some sense of normalcy and worshiping together. So please look for those updates throughout the week as they become available. We'll make them available not just through our social media, but also through email and our webpage as well, so that we have the most up-to-date and accurate information. There is a phrase that keeps coming back to me during this time as well that says, "The days are surely coming." It's a biblical phrase that we see a lot in the prophets, from Isaiah to Jeremiah Even Jesus uses the phrase, quoting the prophets, but also referring to himself. The Psalms use that phrase quite a bit. And even in the book of Hebrews, we see where the author quotes the prophets in order to make the point about how all of us are a part of the covenant of God together. The days are getting longer. They're getting warmer. Sometimes it's hard to be patient during our time of stay at home and stay safe. And along with all those things that I mentioned before, which is leading to our sermon series, it has us getting a bit antsy for something. But what we have to remember is that we won't be able to flip a switch and then everything is going to be back to normal. Things are going to be gradual. They're going to require our patience. And in the midst of that, we have to remember that there is still the possibility of others getting sick. And we want to protect for that as much as we can. But the days are surely coming. This is a promise that the prophets and Jesus makes to all of us, that it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow. And notice how they use the phrase the days, not a day, but the days are surely coming, when God will do something extraordinary. I believe God is doing something extraordinary through us right now as we are learning what it means to be a community in this way. We're learning what it means to protect the most vulnerable among us. We're learning what it means to reach out to the least of these in ways that we had never thought of before. We're actually finding ways to connect with people in ways that we never imagined before. These days have been gradual. We've been learning as we have been going through this time of pandemic here about how we can most effectively reach out to our community of faith. That isn't changing even as we start to move into a new reality here. We look forward to the days where we're not just coming to you in your homes, but we are looking forward to the days where we can be back together as a community. But even then, those days are going to be different than what we have for the time being. And it may be quite a while before we get back to normal. But we must never lose sight of the promise that the days are surely coming when God is going to do something new. And I believe in this time, God is transforming us and helping us to do new things as well, and is preparing us for how we can do new things in the future. That's what we have to look forward to. So even as the weather gets warmer outside, and we're getting anxious as spring is slowly but surely turning into summer, remember, the days are surely coming. And when those days do get here, we'll have a great time for rejoicing. But let's be patient. Let's wait on God's timing. And let's do our part to continue to stay at home and stay safe. Until that time, do those things that you need to do. Trust in the promise that the days are surely coming in God's time. And have a great week, and know that we are praying for you as you are praying for us as well. God bless.